Well, well, well. It is time to finally review the Insta360 GO Ultra camera. Some of you might be asking yourselves, why did you wait so long? Seeing as there's like dozens of other reviews of this camera out there. I'll tell you why. And if you've watched any of the other reviews that I've done on this channel, you'll already know. I don't do one and done. So this camera has already seen over 100 miles with me from here on local trails in the Wasatch all the way to the top of Kings Peak, the tallest mountain in Utah. I've been using it in all conditions, dry, beautiful days like this, as well as rainy, wet, kind of horrible conditions. I've dropped it and I've literally put it through its paces. So I actually feel comfortable talking about this camera at this point. I'm going to be coming at it from a runner's perspective. I'm not going to do really a comparison with other cameras other than the Insta360 GO 3S, because that's its closest relation. But I might make, a connection to like the RS1 or some other cameras in regard to specs and weight and things like that. So with that, I got to climb this hill and then I can talk a little bit more and talk about pros and cons. And then I'll just kind of close it out with all the different footage that I've amassed over the last like month and a half. Okay, let's go. All right, so the GO Ultra is really the fourth iteration of the Insta360 GO line, but it's a totally different camera. It's still a 2-in-1 mini action cam, but this one truly has all the bells and whistles of a full-sized action camera that you're used to seeing. The standalone camera in size is about twice the size of the 3S, but it still comes in at like 53 grams, which is absolutely insane when you consider as runners that we are kind of end up deep in the backcountry and weight matters. So that's a huge deal. Now, if you put it in the action pod, the camera weighs about 108 grams. So it's actually heavier than its kind of nearest neighbors. I mean, I'll just be honest, when I took this thing up Kings Peak, I did not take the action pod, I took the standalone camera. And I'll tell you, it's a game changer when you're not carrying that extra weight. The difference in size of this camera actually allows it to have a 1.2-inch sensor, which means it's incredibly good in low light, even compared to the GoPro Hero 13, their brand new action cam. So it's really amazing how well it does for those early morning runs or those pretty much dark race starts. The standalone camera is about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches, so still plenty small, but in truth not small enough that it's so easy to lose. It does have a magnetic back, so you can just kind of place it on anything metal and it'll stick, including a couple of the accessories that come with the camera, such as the lanyard and the new hat clip, which is surprisingly cool than I thought. There's also a windscreen on the microphone, which you'll be able to hear in this video because it is breezy out here. And the camera itself is fully waterproof down to 4 meters, just the standalone camera, not the action pod. The action pod itself makes this camera act more like a normal action cam that you're used to seeing, like a GoPro. And with a flip up 2-inch screen, all of the camera's functions on the action pod or Wi-Fi to the camera through your phone. So either way works. So it's just kind of the specs of the whole thing. Let's get to the top of this hill, and then we'll talk through some of the pros and cons. All right, let's start by talking about the pros. The first amazing pro with this is, for a camera this size, it shoots in 4K 60 frames per second if you're shooting in standard video mode, which is incredible if you want to actually slow things down in post. If you're in pure HD, it's 4K 30 frames per second. I spend most of my time shooting in that, but that's just a me thing. I don't slow a ton of stuff down. As a runner, I'm pretty slow as it is, so what do you care? The next big pro for me is the weight, obviously, and I've already talked about that. As a runner, it is so easy to just grab this and go. On the standalone camera, you have a single button. Press it, it starts recording. Press it, it stops, and it turns off. Press it twice, and it'll take a picture. If you want to change what those single and double button presses do, you can do that inside the action pod or through your phone. Next is that big old sensor. Not only is it great in low light, but one of the things it really helps with is in the evening like this, when you're transitioning from light to shadow, it moves into those shadow, just sucks up the light and brightens up that image a ton. All right, next is the stabilization. If you're like me, you're a bouncy runner, and the stabilization on this camera is incredible. Even in standard mode, it's better than any other Insta360 I've used, except for the 360 cameras, but that's because you can control it with how you edit. And then the last thing that I want to discuss on the standalone camera is this microphone. Unbelievable. This captures the best sound quality of any action camera I've ever used. One more pro that I just absolutely love is that switching between landscape and portrait mode is as easy as turning the camera 90 degrees. All right, I'm just gonna throw in a couple of bonus pros. Number one, the action pod is really cool with the flip up screen. Number two, because of the USB-C port on the side and the Bluetooth capabilities, you can Bluetooth a number of different mics, including the DJI Mic 2 and the mini mic. So it's not something I really see myself using, but for a lot of you out there, it might be something that really resonates with you. By the way, also, sorry, third bonus, can we just take a second and look at the image and color quality here? These leaves are popping, and this camera is just soaking up all that color. Really incredible. Okay, let's swing over to some of the cons. My first con, and this one's probably pretty obvious, is that if you're using the standalone camera on its own, there's no screen. So you're just kind of like aiming and hoping for the best. I've never really had an issue with it. So it's kind of expected given the nature of the camera itself. The next one is that the action pod is not waterproof. You already heard me say it. Boo. It's not so much that I want to dunk it underwater, but I'm actually worried to like even take it in the rain. So carrying it in a long Ultra as a way to like recharge the camera, I'd put it in a plastic baggie and just use it as an opportunity to recharge. Okay, the other one is both the standalone camera and the action pod mount to a selfie stick using the quick clip mount, which is really secure. However, there's a little bit of rattling as you run, more so with the action pod than with the standalone camera. You can get these dampeners that you can swap out on the mount itself, but that kind of does the opposite. It definitely stops any of the like chattery or bouncing. On the other hand, it does make it tough for it to clip in and really easy to unclip if you happen to hit one of the side buttons, which is why I dropped the camera. Probably the biggest con for most people on this camera is going to be the price tag. At $450, it makes it the most expensive standalone action cam on the market. If you're comparing it to the price tag of the 360 cameras, to me that's a different type of camera and you're paying a different price for that. The final con I'll add is simply this: it's not a 360 camera. And after years of using 360 cameras, there's just something about the versatility of those versus a normal action cam that is just incomparable. Okay, so this last thing, take it as a pro or a con. I don't know. When you buy one of these cameras or any of the Insta360 cameras, there's a number of different packages that differentiates the kind of accessories that you're gonna get. The standalone at $450 gives you the quick clip mount, a safety lanyard, and the hat clip. I got the runners package at $520 and I don't use any of it. The lanyard, the backpack clip, it's unnecessary for what we do. So just keep that in mind, that as you're looking for the camera, just go basic. Okay, so final thoughts. Having used every Insta360 camera they've come out with, this Insta360 GO Ultra is the best action cam for runners I've ever used. I took just the standalone camera to the top of Kings Peak and back, 8.5 hour trip, and still had 50% battery left. Are there things that can do better? Yes. Are you missing some of those key shots that you get with a 360 camera? Sure, but here's the reality. I don't want to carry the X5 for 10 hours across the Grand Canyon and back. It's weight, like that thing is heavy compared to this. Between image quality, sensor size, oh, I didn't even mention this. It has a removable micro SD card. That's a game changer and it's new for this camera. So yeah, does it come with a heavy price tag? It does. But it's worth it if you think about what you're actually getting. Like I'm vlogging, I'm reviewing this, and I can see myself in the camera. Yet, if I went on a longer run, I would just pop the standalone out and I'm good to go for another 8-hour run. So with that, this is the camera you'll see on pretty much every video coming up for the next long while for me. And until then, let's see what trouble we can get into next time.